Lahko začnemo?
Yeah.
Hi, welcome all of you here and also all of you online to what is the second data science Q&A. I'm Erik Strumbel, I'm the coordinator of this data science program, and I'm going to start with a short presentation and then we're going to move on to questions. So if you have any questions for me or for the students that are currently enrolled in our program, most of today will be dedicated to that. As I said, this is the second Q&A. You also have a recording of the first Q&A available online. I might repeat a few things, but maybe I'll also point out a few things that I left out the first time. Okay, so let's start. What is this Data Science Masters? So this is a master's track at the Faculty of Computer and Information Science. It is one of two tracks. The other one is Computer Science. They are similar in terms of enrollment. So it's a 2-year master's program. The difference is that this is completely in English. So the data science program is completely in English. It is intended mostly for students that have an engineering background or a mathematical background or a physics background, or highly motivated students from other areas that want to learn more about data science. So it's designed to be a full-time study program. It is possible to work through it if you're working part-time or if you have a very flexible job, but in that case it might take you more than 2 years to complete it. So it's a very demanding program, but I would dare say also a very rewarding program. Now maybe a few words about why should one enroll in such a program. Let's say you have a computer science background. Why would you want to enroll in such a master's program? I won't say that if you want a really good job or you want to have a very high salary that you should do a master's, any sort of master's. So if you have a computer science background, you already have a very good starting point. This might enable you to have a slightly better salary and a slightly better job and a slightly higher probability that you'll be the boss of the guy that only did the undergraduate program or the, let's say, the master's from computer science. But from that aspect, it's not that big of an advantage. I think the biggest advantage is if you want to really learn the field of data analysis, get familiar with all the different aspects from statistics, computer science, machine learning, and also the soft skills. If you want to continue with your studies, doing a PhD in this area, this is a very good starting point, this master's. And of course, if you're interested in data analysis, which is a very broad field, so you can apply it to different areas, let's say from not just computer science, but also chemistry, all the social sciences, medicine. So if you like to work on different types of projects, you will have a very, let's say, flexible, varied skill set that you will be able to apply everywhere. And as we know, the world is becoming more and more data-driven, so the demand for data scientists is just going to increase in the future years. Maybe a few words about the curriculum itself. So there are 3 main components. One is a very strong mathematical core where we learn all the things or the language that we need to understand modern data analysis methods. The second part is more applied, from having lectures from industry to working on industry projects to working on your master's thesis. And then the third component is an elective component where you get to pick from some more specialized courses like big data, deep learning, statistics, machine learning, advanced machine learning, and some more, let's say, also data science courses from the computer science masters like natural language processing, network analysis, biometry, bioinformatics, and so on. So there's quite a long list of courses to choose from. So we're trying to cover everything. So there'll be a bit of mathematics, a bit of more practical things, and also a bit of data science-y things that you can choose from. Maybe so those coming from a computer science background, let's say here at 3, typically you will probably feel that there is more math than you're used to, and maybe it's more rigorous than you're used to. There is a bit more work, but you're probably used to having a lot of coursework. That is kind of the typical impression from a computer science student. For a student from mathematics and physics, the math is maybe a bit easier. Maybe a few courses you're just revising stuff, but there's a lot of programming, a lot of this coursework, so it might be kind of a shock from that aspect for a student. Those coming from a different kind of background, let's say chemistry or biology or bioinformatics or cognitive science, might be surprised that there's a lot of math and also a lot of work. But that being said, it's also for those type of students, they learn the most from this program, which is also good. But of course, you have to put in a lot of work, but you can also learn the most from this kind of program. Okay, a few things about enrollment. So I'll skip pre-enrollment because that's been finalized. So there are 18 spots for Slovenian students and 8 spots for foreign students. It's difficult to predict if there'll be an entrance exam or if just everyone will be accepted, because it varies from year to year. But so far, having, let's say, a GPA of 8 and, let's say, a decent score on the entrance exam was always enough to enroll. So the bigger problem here is not to get accepted, but is to be successful in this program. Yeah? So any of you that are interested and maybe you want to find out where you lack in your prerequisite knowledge, you can always email me and I'll let you know if it's worth working on something before you enroll. Yeah, the prerequisites themselves are also what is on the entrance exam. So undergraduate level calculus, linear algebra, a bit of probability, a bit of programming, or a lot of programming, let's say 30% programming, 30% math, and or 40%, and the rest is a bit of algorithms and computer systems. So the emphasis is on math and programming. And the entrance exam is the same for both tracks on the masters. So you only have to take one. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions, you can always write to this address or directly to me. And now I'll leave it to you for the questions and to the students for most of the answers, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, so any questions for Eric before we start?
I would have a question about the entrance exam. Is it like all in one part, or are there separate sections between maths, programming, and like 3 parts or 4 parts, or just one altogether?
No, so there is just one.
Sorry, Eric, can you repeat the question for?
Okay, so the question is, what does the entrance exam look like? It is just, so for computer science and data science tracks of the masters at 3, it is one exam which has 8 questions, and that's it. You take it once. If you're also interested in multimedia, and I think IŠRM, the interdisciplinary study of math and computer science, which is also co-run by 3, I think you also write the same exam, but you might have some additional questions. So, but the bottom line is that you come once, you write an exam, and it counts for everything you want to enroll here. Yeah, and this year I've been notified the exam is going to be online, the entrance exam. So.
Yeah. Okay, if you remember any questions for Eric, he'll be over there. And in the meanwhile, the main idea of today's meeting is to create an environment where we can talk, where we can exchange our experiences in the study program. Usually, because we've been doing this for a while, it takes some time to get the ball rolling, so I tend to ask the first question. Then, if nobody will ask the second question, Greta will come up with the second question until then, and then the third question has to be from you, or we'll go home. Okay? So my first question for all of us is, who are we? How far in the study are you? And the last time we also discussed what's like a main field of interest that you maybe discovered during your studies here, just to show how many different things we can discuss or we can study here. So maybe we can begin with you.
Hi, I'm Matej. I'm a first-year student. I'm a foreign student, and I'm really interested in biomedical signals, so AI and healthcare, medicine, and stuff like that. And I'm really enjoying this study program. So.
Yeah, thanks. So I'm Vid. I'm a second-year student now. My background was in multimedia, so I wasn't a computer science student. Were you a computer science student?
Yeah, I was here at 3.
Yeah. And my main field of interest right now is the intersection between deep learning and network analysis. So that's where I'm at currently. How about you?
Thank you. So my name is Dimitar, and I'm a second-year student as well. I graduated from the Faculty of Electrical Engineering, and about my favorite or my current main field of interest, I would say it's time series forecasting, but during this program you learn, you get knowledge, you gain knowledge from lots of different fields, so I might switch in the future. Greta?
Yeah, thanks. My name is Greta, and I'm a third-year student, if that exists. So I finished the 2 years of the master's studies, but now I'm taking an extra year to write my master's thesis. My background was in computer science. I finished the undergraduate here at FRI. And the field of interest, I guess I'm leaning more towards statistics or Bayesian statistics, which is also what I'm doing in my master's thesis in the field of like clinical studies. So
Okay, so even from this you can kind of gather that there's a lot of things that you can get acquainted with here. So even if you have any question that's more related to like the real meat and bones of what we're studying here, or if you have any logistics questions, if you have any questions about the agenda, which I think we can make visible up here, or do we have a slide available for the agenda? No, we don't have it. Okay, so we can talk about the agenda. Feel free to ask. Otherwise, Greta will have to do the honors.
questions.
Did you guys have any specific vision before you enrolled into this course? Like what you want to do after you finish it, or just like some passion towards data science?
For me personally, it just felt really, really interesting. Like I took a course in my undergraduate studies that's like Introduction to Data Science or something like that. It probably has an official English alternative, but it's taught by Professor Blaž Zupan. And I essentially thought, okay, I want more of that. Give me more of that. That's what got me interested. And I didn't have a vision of what I wanted to do because I didn't really know what the fields of interest or like where all of this can actually be applied. And that's also something that we got acquainted with quite fast, because maybe something that wasn't as emphasized in the introduction is that our study program is really interwoven with industry, right? It's actually sponsored by some of the bigger companies that work in the field of machine learning or data science, broader field of data science in Slovenia, and even wider. And these companies work in really different fields, so like from ad tech to like big technologies, some like risk prevention stuff, to financial forecasting and stuff like that. And it was through this program that I actually got acquainted with what I want to do maybe after I finish. How about you guys?
I would also say that the hype for data science 2 years ago was and still is huge, so that's what made me, that was one of the main reasons for me. And then also when I compared this program to the programs for the masters at the Faculty of Electrical Engineering, this one seemed more promising. And plus, online you can find all kinds of machine learning courses, but you can't study the math and the statistics. So that's why I thought this program would be a great addition. So those two factors, the hype and the program, made it for me. That's what I would say.
Yeah, for me, it was. I also I already got to know the field a bit in my undergraduate studies when I was a part of some projects here at our faculty, and I was like, okay, I like this, but of course, unless I want to just keep calling like library, random forest, and just not know what is going on in the background, I need to study a little bit more about it. So I thought this is like a good way to go if I want to gain a more in-depth knowledge of this field and actually be a capable professional in the future.
Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, when I was in third year, I participated to the data science project competition, and it was an amazing experience, and I wanted more. And this is why I enrolled in this program, and I'm still trying to understand what are the possible paths after the program. Maybe a doctorate, maybe going into the industry, working. And yeah, this is for me.
You mentioned the data science project competition, and you like it so much that you're partaking again.
Yeah. Third time this year.
Third time. Can you maybe explain to everybody what's the idea of the project competition and also how it's interwoven with the actual study program?
Okay, so the data science project competition is a subject of this program. You take in the first year, in the second semester. It is 6 credits. And there are a lot of topics, and each team has a topic. I think that this year each team is composed of 3 members, and this competition is not only for data science students, it's also for non-FRE students, non-data science students, and also for undergrad students, or for everyone. Everyone can participate, and there are prizes also if you're interested, big prizes. And yeah, you have a mentor from FRE, so from data science, and a mentor from the industry, and you work on a specific solution for the company. And while working, you also learn a lot of things. You really learn how the industry works and what are their expectations, and it is an amazing experience. So yeah, it's.
How much time do you invest in that competition?
How much time?
Yes.
I mean, a lot. You can work as much as you want, really. So.
It's a semester-long course.
At least 150 hours, I think. At least 150, which is for 6 credits. But if you want, 300, 400. But it's fun. Yeah, this is it's amazing.
Do you plan to continue in academic field or industry or research?
So the question is, do we plan to continue in the academic field, or do we want to go into industry? Do we want to work in research? Do any of you have like a good idea of what you want to do currently?
I think I'll be going in industry.
Yeah?
It's not that research is not interesting, but simply I think practical work suits me more. So that I'm pretty sure I'll be going in industry and not for a doctorate.
How about you, Greta?
Yeah, my opinion is very similar. I don't think I have the patience required by PhD students. So I think I will go to industry.
I'm still trying to understand what are the best path for me, but probably industry, and then maybe some years later coming back, maybe, but I'm still not sure.
Yeah, I was considering a PhD because like it's the pre-enrollment season, right? Not only for the like second degree studies, but also for the doctorate. And like through the descriptions of like how the PhDs work here, which you can also find, I'm pretty sure, recorded somewhere on the Freeze YouTube channel, I decided that maybe I'll try to take a year off and decide if this is the right path for me, because like I feel like there's still a lot to learn, even though if I compare my level of knowledge to what I knew before enrolling, it like went way up in this field. I feel like there's a lot of stuff still to learn and discover and research, but maybe a year off, see what lies beyond the faculty, and maybe come back later.
How your collaboration with industry actually works? Like, do you have any mentors or something? Do you have like internships, like besides the data science competition?
Okay, yeah. So the question was, how does the collaboration with industry actually work? Do we have anything beyond the data science project competition? Does anybody want to take heed in that?
So we have the curriculum app, which is really handy. So in, for example, you can see the course that is happening in the first semester, of the first year, which is called Introduction to Data Science. So this course is like, the purpose of this course is to just get everyone on the same level when it comes to data science, let's say. So you go through everything, to like data pre-processing, to visualization, through everything. And while doing that, you are working on some projects during the semester. And in these projects, you are usually working on like real life data from our from one of our sponsor companies. So for example, in my year, I think yeah, we had Zamanta data set, and you had Seltra. We had Databox. Yeah. So see. So and then also when you are working on it, you get to present it, and then people from companies might be there to give feedback on what you did with their data and so on. So that's one thing. And then yeah, then you have the project course, which we already mentioned. And I think that during this kind of events, when, for example, then in the end you have this presentation of the project, and all those members of the companies come, and you get to discuss your project with them. And just throughout your studies, you are sort of in contact with those people, and you get to know them, which might be very useful if you want to find a job at one of those companies in the future. And also those companies, sometimes they have like internship offers, and of course they reach out to us to spread the news, because they are looking for us basically. So we are among the first that get the news about internships and job ads and things like that. So
yeah, so maybe it's worth being reiterated that the final event of the project competition is like this place where in the last years it's been online, but otherwise it's an opportunity to actually meet and network with the experts from the industry, actually, right? And like from that, a lot of opportunities arise. It tends to happen that a lot of us students from data science actually also partake in some sort of extracurricular activities that either the data science initiative here at FRI or actually the companies themselves tend to organize. And like this relationship with the industry actually tends to deepen. And I don't want to speak for my entire like year, but I would say that more than half of us have through this 2 years of study developed some relationship or another with like several companies from the industry, which might not have been possible if we had chosen a different path, right? So it's pretty cool, and I also know that some of our colleagues are also collaborating with companies from the industry on their master's thesis, and like Greta said, that there are also like some opportunities that tend to arise, which are more of an individual and by an individual basis. But yeah, there's a lot of things going on basically.
Which module did you take in the first year?
Okay, so the question is, which module did we take in the first year? Because you can see here that in the first year we select the computer science master's module, which is one of the one of the 7 possible modules that you can select in also the regular free masters. And that dictates 4 of the courses that you actually take, right? You can find these modules also online. And I think that the vast majority of our colleagues tend to take one of two modules. So let's see if that holds, if we all 4 took one of 2.
I took the computer vision module, and yeah, it's a lot of work, but we are learning a lot of neural networks, and we do biomedical signal processing, natural language processing, object tracking, and biometrics, so like Face ID or Touch ID on the iPhone and stuff like that. What about you?
I took the intelligent data analysis module, which has bioinformatics, network analysis, machine learning, and AI.
I took the same module as Matei, and I think I didn't go wrong. You learn a lot. It's interesting. The subjects there cover state-of-the-art material, so I think it's worth taking.
Yeah.
About you?
I also took the computer vision module, but I think there is a third module that our classmates might take. It's the math module. Yeah. There are some very brave people that decide they want 4 more math courses. So
Yeah, of course. We also have colleagues that went against the grain and picked something else, but I think that these 2 modules are mostly picked, right? But that doesn't mean that you should hold on to that recommendation. Like this is also kind of the beauty of like the first year curriculum, because it allows you to pick something that is basically tailored to your interests. But fear not if some of the other courses in the module that you don't end up picking seem just too fun to miss, right? You have some general elective courses in the second year where now I too am taking computer vision. I didn't miss out on it. And it kind of tends to be vice versa for the people who don't take a different module, right? There's also like different elective courses that you can take in the second year, and I also think that's one of the maybe not so oftenly talked about strengths of the data science program, is that the regular free masters, probably due to like curriculum constraints, you have to pick 2 modules in the first year and an additional 3rd module in the 3rd year, and just this selectivity of the module actually dictates which courses you'll be listening to. Whereas here you take 1 module and then you can cherry pick the things that you are most interested in the second year, right? We have 4 core data science elective courses, which we can talk about later, and of those 4 you must take 2, but otherwise it's free for all, right? You can take even more than the 2 core subjects, because like they're pretty good and you should consider taking them, but otherwise there's a lot of different things that you can maybe pick in the second year if you miss out on something in the first year.
Do we have any questions on that?
Maybe what was the hardest thing or I don't know, subject or whatever part of the subject that you studied here?
So the question is, which was the hardest subject? And since you're in the first year, maybe your input will be most valuable here, Matei.
Probably for me, like principles of uncertainty. It's like it's like the hardest subject of the first year, because you're introduced to hard mathematics, at least for me. But I did computer science. Maybe if you have a more mathematical background, it is easier. And yeah. For me, it was principles of uncertainty. What about you guys?
I would say the homeworks in machine learning 1, because they were huge, and it took some time to complete the whole homework. So for me, I would say that was hard and also long. The homeworks were long, so I would point out that. But it's worth it, because during those homeworks you really learn a lot. So it's worth it, I would say.
I think I agree with Matei. I mean, it depends on your background. Maybe like computer science people are struggling a little bit more with math, while maybe people that are coming from the Faculty of Mathematics need to brush up on their programming skills. So it depends on your background more or less, but everything is manageable if you put in enough work. And I mean, the professors are very friendly and willing to help out if there is any problems. So all you need is, you know, the will to reach your goals. And yeah, I think it shouldn't be a problem if you have that.
Yeah, I agree, because it's such a small group, right? Like you're maybe not used to that if you come from like maybe computer science first year, first level. Is it called the level? Undergrad, yeah. First level. The undergrad, because the like groups are quite large, but here we actually like also get to collaborate with our professors and our assistants in a bit, in a smaller group essentially, and like everything is a bit different when you get this this a little bit a better connection with the experts here, right? And yeah, I agree with all of the points raised so far. But anything is manageable, I think, so far.
If you work hard enough.
Yeah. We're so we're told.
Probably the most basic question, if you had to compare computer science undergraduate with data science, what would you say? How hard it is
Okay.
compared to undergraduate computer
So-
science?
So just to repeat the question, it's how much harder or easier is data science masters compared to undergraduate computer science?
If you took if in the computer science study you took the module of artificial intelligence, the workload is similar, maybe a little bit more workload in the second semester. If you consider only the difficulty, it is much more difficult because of the mathematics and stuff like that. But it's all manageable if you work hard enough. So if you really like the machine learning and statistics, this is the appropriate study.
Anybody not agree with that?
I think I had more free time in my undergraduate, but I mean,
Had free time in undergrad.
more free time.
I mean, I also agree. Like, maybe also like the master study, any master study, like also the regular computer science master study here at Free, is a little bit different in some aspects. Like, I feel like I'm doing much more of this, like research workflow. You get an assignment, you try to figure out some stuff, then you write a report, you submit the report, and I feel like in my undergraduate, I was in multimedia, so I only had half of the courses here at Free, so I can't speak, like, I can't compare to that degree that you might be able to. But I felt like in that part, we did more like just program something together and we'll check if your program compiles and returns sensible things. But here you actually try to go that extra step of, okay, you were able to complete your assignment, but can you actually extract something valuable from what you presumably just learned, right? And maybe data science even builds up on that. Like, there are some courses where there's a lot of emphasis of actually being capable of drawing useful insights from your work, not just writing a program that compiles, right? Which I personally think is very, very valuable, but you might be surprised and it might take some additional cognitive workload to get used to that, right? But yeah, maybe also, like, I would say here I had some exams that required more work than the hardest exam that I had in my undergraduate.
That's a very good point with reports. So you don't only solve the problem, but then you need to present it. And it's a lot of emphasis on how to present your results, which is also good, because maybe in undergraduate, it's not very often that you need to write a report next to your homework, I think, at least how I remember it. But, and then you write your thesis and okay, but then here, you do reports. You do like 3 reports per week or something. Like, you count how many reports you did in one semester, and you're like, damn, I did a lot of reports this semester. So yeah, and then but then you brush up on your skills to communicate your results, which you will need if you are a data scientist at a company and you need to provide results to your employers, and you get like really fast at it. I think it's. I don't know, you really brush up on those skills, which will be very useful, I think.
Yeah, I remember, it was probably in the first couple of months of the first semester, I was complaining about this. Like, I was talking to Eric, our coordinator, and I said, but it takes me so long it takes me so long to write good LaTeX, right? And he said, well, good, get better at it. Like, make it shorter, like get the workflow going, because that's something that you need to brush up on. And if this idea of having to constantly report and constantly think about things in that aspect and not just compile some code together doesn't intrigue you that much, maybe this isn't the right option for you. But I think that it's valuable knowledge also, like something that's maybe not written in the agenda.
You said you came from Faculty of Electronics?
Electrical engineering, yes.
Okay. You had Math 1 and Math 2 there, maybe?
Up to Math 4.
Okay. So how did you find math on this program? Is
Yeah,
it the same, just basics, or?
It was different. There in Math 4 you have differential equations and different kind of math. So I was lacking some linear algebra, so that was my main shortage. But other than that, maybe some statistics, yeah. But other than that, I was fine. If you maybe I had to put in some extra work when compared to my classmates who came from this faculty, but it's manageable, definitely doable.
I would say that Maths 1 is probably the most selective course for the regular computer science program. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. Yeah, I think it's the one that maybe they tend to have most trouble with, and it directly follows from linear algebra and analysis in the first year.
But it's everywhere, I think.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
On every faculty.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, and then you have Maths 2. So that's also one of the data science only courses, which maybe we can share some things about, because it's also, for me at least, it was maths as I've never seen it before. But there's good and bad in that. Don't worry. But maybe I can ask you about how do you feel about Maths 2? Can you describe how it's structured, and do you like it?
Okay, so Mathematics 2 is composed of 4 parts, and in each part you have a different professor. And so in the first part we did optimization, so gradient descent and Newton methods. In the second part we did linear programming, interior point, and in the third part we had Eric, Marco Monte Carlo. In the fourth part we are doing multilinear algebra, and for each part you have an exam. For the first 2 parts we had oral exam, and for the last 2 parts we have a written exam now in June. And if I compare Mathematics 2 with Mathematics 1, definitely, at least for me, Mathematics 2 is way harder. I didn't have any problem with Mathematics 1. I found it easy, but Mathematics 2 was it was really harder, because the notations were more mathematical, and we had a lot of proofs, theorems. And so yeah, this is what we expect.
Yeah, but it's also in Mathematics 2 is where the mathematics actually gets applied, right? In Mathematics 1 is a course that you might be used to, you have your homeworks and you have your labs where the great maths assistant writes everything on the whiteboard and everything is perfect and you don't make any mistakes. But then when you do Mathematics 2, we actually get homeworks where we have to apply something that actually makes sense in the real world. And that, for me, that was maybe kind of scary, because he said, it's a bit more involved. But optimization and Markov-Chain Monte Carlo and these kind of things, they are really the bread and potatoes, or what's it called, of machine learning. And it's actually the things that everything that we discuss, every fancy algorithm and every fancy neural network, they run on that, right? So I definitely think that it's that extra step that helps you understand what's going on in the background, and I think that is something that might not be offered, definitely not at other courses at this faculty. I can't say that it's not offered elsewhere in Slovenia, but as far as I've discussed with my peers from other faculties, like it gets more involved than anywhere else, and I also think that we get much more experience and much more familiar with how everything works in the background. So while it's hard, I think it's very beneficial.
So the professors for math classes come from Faculty of Computer Science?
They work here, yes, but
With computer science background?
most of them are mathematicians, but they work here. Like we have a, I don't know what's it called in English, cátedra. Yeah, we have a chair for like this general mathsy courses and know-how, right? And like I think we have quite a strong collection of experts in this field at FREE. So yeah, they're mathematicians, but they work at FREE. Any questions maybe about just like how, about any of the courses or maybe like anything else that you might be interested in? You can also like share your thoughts about, are you thinking of coming here, why you're thinking of coming here instead of the regular FREE program, or vice versa, so we can maybe give you like some hints if you're on the right path, if you're thinking correctly, if we think that something else might be good for you.
So what would you say is the main reason to choose data science masters instead of maybe taking just the regular computer science masters and selecting the appropriate modules? I mean.
So the question is, why should we take, or why should one take data science over just going with the regular computer science masters and just choose the modules that you're interested in? Maybe can you take this one?
Yeah, I think you miss out on a lot of mathematical subjects, principles of uncertainty, math too, and for me they were one of the main reasons why I enrolled in this program, because even online I don't think you can get much of that knowledge. So I think it is useful, yes. And also some subjects like Introduction to Data Science or Bayesian Statistics or Machine Learning for Data Science, as I said, that subject, it is maybe hard, but you learn a great deal. So I think there's quite a difference, yeah. So there are definitely lots of reasons why you would choose this program.
And also, if I might add, for example, if you're interested in this field and you take the, I don't know, computer vision module, and it will be you and maybe 80 other people, and you will do homework, and maybe you will write this report, and maybe the assistant will, you know, skim through it and grade it, and that's it. But here you have like maybe 20 students in 1 year, and in all those data science courses, like Introduction to Data Science, project course, Principles of Uncertainty, Machine Learning for Data Science. I'm not sure if it's only data science. It's not.
I think Ishirama has it as a selective,
Yeah,
but it's mostly data science.
Yeah, I mean, my point is you got like individual feedback. Like you actually got, okay, so this is what is wrong with your report, and this is how you should improve. And I think this is way more valuable than just getting like a number feedback, like, okay, this report is worth 9 out of 10 points, good, you know? So it's you really get to grow as a professional with this individual feedback more than just being one of the 80 students that passed the course. I think that's the main advantage here, because all the professors will know you by your name. They will know what you're interested in. They will know what you struggle in. They will try to help you, and you will get feedback on almost everything that you hand in, which is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all the courses are, they are synchronized. So, I mean, they know, they are not just like some, you know, here at FREE you have, okay, so you have this course, and this professor has this course, and that's his thing, and he doesn't know what's happening in the other thing, which belongs to the other professor. But here, like people know, okay, so we learned this at Mathematics 2 now, so we can apply it in machine learning for data science, because you're supposed to know that. You had this, you covered this. And then you can build on top of this. So it's not just some individual units, but it's like everything is intertwined in a way, which I think is really useful. And yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the curse of electivity, right? In the regular program, maybe the thing that the professors can expect you to know is that you have finished Mathematics 1. Like, that's basically the only thing that they can expect of you, because any other course can take place in the first year or the second year. And these more involved elective core courses, the 4 of them that we talked about, so Bayesian statistics, machine learning for data science 2, deep learning, and big data, are some of the courses where the professors expect that you have finished all of the data science core mandatory courses from the first year, and it tends to show. Like, it tends to show that those courses, like, you can't just plump somebody in them and expect them to know everything, right? So yeah, and I would just reiterate Greta's point about being in a smaller group, getting hands-on feedback, because like that is something that from my personal experience, especially in maybe machine learning 1, like we got well-structured feedback for our like involved homeworks, whereas something like that just doesn't tend to happen in other courses, right?
Are the modules for data science and for the normal computer science separated? Like you said, they know you by your name even in the module.
Oh, no, that's in the data science courses. So
Just in the
yeah, because here with the computer science master's module, that part that you see here in the first year, this is where you are together with other free students. So this is what I was referring to when you're 1 out of 80, for example, in these courses. But courses that are specifically for data science, so data science elective course, or the ones that I mentioned before, it's just data science students.
So from your experience, you would say that the module that you chose, or the courses in that module, are on the lower level than actually the data science courses?
So the question is if we would, in our opinion and from our own experience, say that the courses from the module were on a lower level than the data science courses. Anyone cares to start on this very controversial topic? I can start. I thought that and think because I'm still enrolled in some module courses this year, I think that some of the courses in the modules are very, very, very good and very interesting, and like some of like the data science courses, the non-elective courses, are still far more general than some things that's like some very specialized topic, like maybe vision or natural language processing, right? That's one course just for this one subfield of data science, and you can't get this directed with something that you have in the first semester where most of the mandatory courses of data science lie, right? And there are very good courses in the modules, but I would say that just listening to the lecture in a room of 80, 90, 100 people is different than having a lecture with 20 or 30 people where you can like freely ask questions as the lecture goes on, and that something is really tailored to your level of knowledge and really tailored to your like progress in the other courses, because everything is synchronized. So like from an organizational aspect, even that some courses in the general computer science module are also very well organized and have like really great way of handling the large amount of people. I would say that from a logistical standpoint, yeah, I would say that most, if not all, courses were of a higher quality. Anybody care to fight me? Okay.
I think you put it well.
Yeah. But yeah, that's not a slight on the actual computer science courses, because like for me, some of my favorite courses were general courses. Like maybe it's a toss-up between like some electives from data science and some electives from there, but that comes down to personal interest, right? I mean, a course can be really well put together, but if you're not interested in the field, that doesn't help. Okay, so if we don't have anything else, maybe just some parting notes from each one of us, and we give you 5 to 10 seconds to come up with last parting questions. So do you have any final advice? Who should or should not enroll to data science?
Select the good ones.
Yeah. No, if you're interested in this field and you think you have a solid background, and even if you lack some knowledge in a certain area, but you think you could manage the workload, then I think you should definitely try enrolling in this program.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. I mean, it's if you're willing to put in the work and if you see the value in actually understanding what you do, if you want to work as a data scientist, I think it's worth spending this extra 2 years to, you know, deepen your knowledge and understanding, and then go out there and kick ass.
Any parting word?
If you have the desire, not only to just implement the state-of-the-art model or something like this, or if you really have the desire to understand what the model does and what what is the result of your model, it's not just a number, it's not just the accuracy or the root mean squared error, and you want to learn more about this, I think that data science is the right choice. If you really want to understand those models, yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I would also say, if you're maybe skeptical a little bit, I would still push you to apply, because we have a lot of really, really great professors and great assistants that are like maybe only in this program that will push that level of, hey, maybe I'm interested in this a little bit upwards, and I think you won't regret it if you join us next year. And also, like, from the people that I got to know at data science, like the amount of interesting and really, really smart people that tend to apply here is like constantly breathtaking, and I'm pretty sure you'll get some really, really great classmates if you apply here. And now that COVID is over, maybe you'll also make some great friends here. So yeah, that I think is all from us. And if you have any additional questions, you had the email above, and you can always find either of us to ask some additional questions later.